Want to know how you can gain access to capital to jumpstart your journey to entrepreneurial success? For entrepreneurs who are just starting out or those who have been in business for years, Minority Business Access is your podcast. Welcome to our show, where we will guide you in avoiding the pitfalls and thriving in your chosen business. Now, onto the show with your host, Solomon Ali.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on Minority Business Access. You know, I haven't seen you since our Spain trip, and now here we are at Magnify Your Wealth. Man, it is so awesome to see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. It's been, every day's a journey. I enjoy it all. So it's been good to be here too and see you again. I always feel like I should be doing the interview to you.
Oh,
to learn from you. That's what I want to learn from.
No, I want to learn from you.
I don't got much for you, brother.
Look. Look, from what I'm hearing, you got big things going on and everything like that. You just did really well. Tell me about the farming business. How did you get into it?
So the farming business, I guess it's you know, when you're raised on a farm. I was raised on a farm, right? And when you're raised on a farm, you're kind of taught that you're going to be driving a tractor, or you're going to be planting, or you're going to find your own mold, right? No one does any emotional psychologist tests on you to understand where you fit in the business.
So you just grew up farming and you loved it?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't like farming.
Really?
No, I didn't enjoy it. You know, I dropped out in grade 9 out of school, and my dad had a simple policy that if you didn't have a 75% average, you go into work, right?
Okay, but here you are, this highly successful person. I mean, extremely successful. All right, you got all these women chasing you around town and everything like that. You run this big business. Come on, what's the secret?
So what happened was, I don't know if I never had hunger. I think I always did. But the thing is that, again, I didn't know myself at a young age, right? I didn't know what I wanted. I moved to Mexico. I lived in Mexico 4 years, got married down there. And I think seeing the poverty of other people, seeing the struggle, seeing my own struggle down there, losing my money in businesses down there, and coming back with nothing. You know, I think I averaged out about $4 an hour what I got paid down there, right?
Wow.
So living in that kind of environment and trying to look after a family and have children and that kind of stuff, it kind of builds something in you, right? And the corruption down there and all those things, and you come back to North America or Canada where I live, and everywhere's opportunity. You know, my brother accepted me back to working for him. He ran a factory, and I worked night shift. And I got paid $20 an hour, right? And I just couldn't put enough hours in. I'm like, freaking $20 an hour, man. I hit a gold mine, right? So that's where it started again. And you're running night shifts, and you try to look for the next opportunity. And so I get on the phone, and in the evening, call my brother up and says, "Hey, brother, would you sell me your farm?" And it was 35 acres, and I said, "Well, what kind of price?" I said, "I'll buy it for $80,000 back then." And he says, "We'll do a deal." So I called my other brother up and I said, "Hey, brother," I said, "would you lend me 20 grand for a month?" Right? So I said to my other brother.
Wait a minute now, Let's slow down there. Yeah. You called the first brother and said, "Would you sell me the farm?"
Yeah.
And you agreed on the price.
Yeah.
Then you called your other brother and you said, "Okay, I need to borrow $20,000.
Yeah, so on my first deal, I said to him, I said, "Listen, I want to buy the farm, but I can only give you 3/4 of it right now," which was the part the bank was going to give. Right? And the other 25%, I'll give it to you in a year plus interest. So I'll give you the 5% or 7% or whatever it was at the time.
So you made him your personal banker?
Right. And so I gave him the 20 grand in a year's time, but I had to get 20 grand for a month because the bank wants to see the 25%.
Right.
So I called my other brother up and said, "Will you give me 20 grand for a month? All I need is for a month, right? Just no interest, just borrow it for 1 month." And he agreed upon that. So that's how I made the first transaction.
What did that feel like?
I don't know. I was always grinding, man. I always wanted to grind.
Was it exciting? I mean, when I closed my first acquisition, a first nursing home, it was about a $5 million acquisition. And all the due diligence and everything, and I had to put down $1 million, and the bank gave me the rest. And I just remember walking through, looking at the paintings and everything on the wall, and I said, "The spoils of war, the spoils of war." I said, "All of this belongs to me." Did you have that type of feeling, or can you?
I'm weird. If I make a deal on getting 10% off my groceries because I'm a senior, I feel good. right? Like, any deal's a good deal for me. I don't really care, right? I just don't want to deal with the small ones anymore. I rather a salesman, I'll give him a high five a deal and like sell the tractor or sell something else and give him a high five, right? But I just don't want to deal with them quite often. But everywhere's a deal. Like the grocery store is a deal. I mean, everywhere. Right?
Okay. Well, Dave, tell us about the process of farming. And I guess more specific, the process of what you do first in the day-to-day and just about your business.
Yeah, so I love to create new businesses, and that might be my downfall a little bit too. Once a business is created, I get bored, right? And so once a business is created, then I like to have everybody take it over, right? I'll make sure the manager's there, my brother being like the artist, the human resource guy's there, and I get bored and I move to the next project. I always say that if I didn't work for a year, I'd probably make more money. Right? Because I wouldn't be spending all the new businesses, right? Right? But that's where the excitement comes from, right? So farming, I would tell people not to get into farming. Farming's a high investment business with little revenue. The margins are very, very small. I think a lot of people do it because of the love of farming, because of the lifestyle. And there's a lot of crazy Dutchmen that just want to buy more land and buy more everything. And so it makes the margins very, very small in farming. And there's so many variables, the markets, the weather, the bugs. I mean, there's just so many varieties. There's so many things to think about that it's actually not a very cash flow rich business. It's an investment rich business, but not a cash flow rich business.
So what was the worst experience you've had thus far?
The worst experience thus far? Probably a divorce.
What?
Divorce has nothing to do with business.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing to do with business. I don't, when he came back from Mexico, how I look at it is the worst day in Canada is that you go bankrupt and you get to wake up in the morning and have cereal again. Like, I mean, my banker, I was wanting to borrow more money from the bank, and the banker says I was leveraged too far, right? And at that time I was living in an apartment driving a Grand Prix. I says, what's the worst case scenario if I get leveraged too far? Well, you can't pay your debt. And so what does that mean? I says, that means I go back to apartment in a Grand Prix. And that's where I live right now. Right? So there's no downside, right?
Okay.
There's no downside. And that's how I look at it now. You live in North America,
let me ask you this. Did he give you the loan?
I don't even know. If he didn't give it to me, I'd go to the next bank, so he must have.
Okay.
Someone's going to give me a loan. And I have moved back, to another bank before for a period of time. If the one bank wasn't going to do business.
Right.
You always got to find the right partners in life, I find. We've moved a bank recently that's, the right personality, the right interest rates, the right everything. And so, that's how I look at life. You always have the right partners. That's how I look at it.
Okay. Now, you say farming have low margins.
Very low.
Okay. What type of farming do you do?
So cash crop. All cash crop farming.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's crop farming. It's soybeans, wheat, and corn is what we grow.
Okay.
So with my other businesses, I look for, I think in life you have to have your cash flow business, you have your investment business. And I think you have to have both. And so my cash flow businesses are the fertilizer business, right?
Ah, okay.
That's where my cash comes from. And then my future businesses are all going to be cash flow business, not investment businesses.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just thinking, you just said something, it was cash flow. We had a talk when we were in Spain about raising some capital for you and everything of that nature and taking you guys public. I'm still waiting on that call from you.
Yeah. So my next business that I'm starting right now is what it is taking, so a lot of manufacturers in Europe and different countries don't have a way of distributing their equipment in North America. So what I'm setting up now is a distribution system in North America that's going to revolutionize how equipment is being distributed.
Okay.
And right now, we go through dealerships and they have to order their product and it takes 3 months, all that kind of stuff. What I want to create is distribution systems across North America, whereas you, the salesman, can sell it today and I'll have the product delivered in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Now instead of having 2 pieces of equipment that you have in your yard, you have 100 because they're sitting at my distribution center, right? And so you have one piece to demonstrate to the customer, but you have this whole entourage of other equipment that's sitting there ready to be delivered, right?
Wow, okay.
So that's kind of my focus. I think that's a business that I do want to go public eventually one day. I do want to bring one company public, and then after that I might just go and coach people how to be successful. I mean, that's where I have passion in, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to do that,
Yeah.
I'm getting that call.
You will be.
So, you know, it's starting to seem like, how can I say this? Like I'm an ex-wife or something.
How's that?
I don't know. I'm still waiting on the call.
Yeah. I just haven't got there yet.
Just haven't gotten there.
Haven't got there yet.
So, COVID. We're at COVID-19.
Yeah.
Okay. It's affecting everything globally.
Yeah.
What's going on? How is it affecting your industry?
Yeah, so there's two things. I was very aware of the whole COVID thing as it was going on, and I was very conscious about how it was going to affect my mind. And that was something I took into high consideration, and also for all the employees that were with me, right? So I took it, you know, quite concerning at the very beginning because, you know, is it deadly? Is it all this kind of stuff? And try to understand the truth of it. And, you know, you could be still wondering that right today. But I said, you know what, even if I die in this during COVID, I'd rather die than live in fear. And so the people that were scared, I said, you know what, go home. And everybody else, we're going to freaking rip it up. Because I'm not going to let this bullcrap affect our mindset. So I went hungrier and harder than ever. Because the truth is, 100%. Because the truth is, what are you going to do? You're not going to go on any trips, are you? Right? You're just at home, you're going to work. Right?
Okay.
Right? So just go harder at it. And so, interesting though, in agriculture is always the last one to be affected by any recession. Right? And so we're not really affected on an agriculture level on the recession.
Now, who are your clients? Are they individuals or corporations?
Yeah, so when we sell our grain, it goes to large corporations. When I'm selling the fertilizer, it goes right to the customer.
Okay.
And I'm building actually a third business, one other business where you have a grain facility to buy and sell grain from farmers. That one's already built, but I want to just expand on it. And again, everything's service oriented. The reason why people do business with me is because of service. I think that's the one thing that's we're really missing in this generation is how to serve people. I think a lot of industries are failing in that reason because if you can service a customer at an extreme level, they'll always be with you.
Wow. So what drives you today, Dave?
I don't know. I wake up hungry. I don't know why. I wish I knew why. I could tell you why.
Is it the cornflakes? Is it the cereal?
No, you know what? You know what? It's challenges. I would say, you know, if I wish anything for my children, it's more challenges. If I wish anything, it's a struggle. I'm not going to give them anything. I told them that already. I'll say I'll pay for your personal growth stuff, but as far as going to school, you're on your own. Because I have a grade 9 education. Like the things that I learned is coming to events like this.
So, let me see if I can regurgitate that back to you. You're not going to spoil your kids by giving them anything because you dropped out of school, only have a 9th grade education, yet you're this highly successful businessman, okay? And you're basically, is it that you're teaching them to work for it?
No, I believe that the time you should get money given to you is the time you can handle money. The time you can handle money is the time you don't need money. Now, it's a time to give, that's the time to give you the money.
Wait a minute, Dave. Wait a minute. Say that again, please. I want you to look right there at that camera and say that again.
So I'll explain it this way. So the time I feel that people can get given money to deal with, to manage, is the time that they can handle it. The time they can handle money is the time they generally don't need it anymore. And I see it that with even my own brothers. You know, when my father, you know, he'll be at a time where, you know, when he passes away or whatever, that money will be divided up with us all, and that's fine. But the thing is that a lot of us won't need it. Some of us really will need it.
Listen, the reason I wanted you to repeat it, it was so profound. It wasn't the first time that I had heard that.
Right.
In fact, you know, I have these little sayings that I use myself, like in business, you don't have to lie, cheat, or steal. You just have to do the work.
Right.
And a lot of people kind of look at me like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, what, is work foreign? Just do the work and be the best at what it is that you're doing.
Right.
And so I'm gonna have to adapt that, make it a part of my sayings. Okay, so I'm gonna just take that from you.
No,
if
you
that's
take
okay.
have it, buddy. You get everything you want. All you want. You can't recreate the hunger. I don't know. I got to figure that one out. I don't have a solution for that one. I don't know. Take protein in the morning.
Hey,
I don't know.
I know when we first met in Italy, and I was like, okay, Dave, you were one of the first people that came when I got there, greeted me, hugged me and everything. And I was like, who is this big guy hugging me, doesn't know me, and I'm the only person of color there. And I was like, your energy, your excitement and enthusiasm just about life.
Yeah.
It's just so, I mean, it's contagious. And so instantly, I was like, I like this guy. I like his energy. I like him as a person and a human being. And the more I got to know you and understand what it is you were all about, I was like, wow, this is a person I want in my life, you know, just to kind of hang out. And we went to Spain. And,
I don't even understand this because I'm like a nobody, right? Why does this guy want to hang out with me?
Wait a minute. I like nobodies who makes millions, okay? So keep doing it then. You know, and we had this conversation. And it was a very intimate conversation and very touching because there was a lot of successful people sitting there. We were at the, I guess it was the museum or the castle. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there having lunch, and you brought up how many of you ever had a lunch paid for and you're always the one paying for lunch? And we all put our hands up because every last one of us were accustomed to always being the one paying for lunch, doing for others and doing for others. And then you made this great grand gesture and you bought everybody's lunch. Okay, and I was like, wow, that was just something. And then later, we went shopping. You remember that?
I don't remember that. Nah, I do remember
it. I remember that. Okay, and you bought me this leather coat. Okay, and the leather coat and the bag. The bag, you got the man to give me a huge discount on.
Yeah, I had to work him a bit.
Yeah, you had to work him hard.
I say, once you squeeze the limit and give it to me, I'll squeeze the last drop out of it.
And so I'm bringing this up because you have this great big heart. You're full of energy, you have this great big heart, and I know how you take care of your employees and everything of that nature. Why do you treat your employees so well?
I guess they're part of my family, that's why. You see, if you work for me, I feel like I have a responsibility for you, right? So, as soon as you don't work for me, I'm not being rude, I don't care. I don't care what happens. I mean, I'm hoping that you're successful, but I'm not worried, you know, did you get your lunch and, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you work for me, like, I'm gonna make you successful. I believe all ships rise at the same level, at the same time. I always ask people, I says, do you ever hear about the guys that work for Warren Buffett or his partners, all that kind of stuff? I never do, but I'm sure they're billionaires also, right? I'm sure they're successful also. And that's how, you can't succeed in life without everybody else succeeding with you. It just doesn't happen.
Wow.
Like I'll get started a new business. I'll put my brother in.
So I need to come and work for you.
Of course, buddy. Anytime. I'll share some stuff with you.
Everyone, for the record, I'm coming to work for Dave. I'm gonna buy him out first, though. Okay?
You're gonna have it, buddy. I'll start all over again. Yeah, no. And even new businesses. I'll start new business. I'll put my brother in at 25%. He doesn't do anything to do with them, right? But I don't know. He's just a great guy, you know.
Okay. Well, we know you're a great guy. We know you take really good care of your employees, okay? When do you find the time to deal with family, friends?
I'm on the phone all the time. Like I'll come home, I'm on my Bluetooth. I put on Bluetooth when I wake up in the morning. It's on all day. And I'll come home, I have a wonderful nanny at home. I think she just looks after me basically. She's like nanny, but looks after me, I'm the kid, right? And so she'll have the food ready. I'm on my Bluetooth still. I'm still talking to somebody. I'll be going out. I'll be still in the hot tub. I'll be talking. I'll be on the phone the whole time, right? And so I make a point of, I don't wait for people to come back and, you know, I'll call them and are they gonna call me back? That's bull crap, right? If you want to create connections in life, you create the connections. Right? Don't wait for them to call you back. Don't wait for it to be mutual, all that kind of stuff. Just keep on delivering. If you want that relationship, go get it, right? Don't wait for that relationship to respond back to you. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
So,
give me 3 things that you would say to a young entrepreneur or business person that could help them to be successful in this long, hard journey.
Yeah, first of all, it's not long and hard. There's lots of opportunities. Number one thing is find out who you are. Find out what you're good at and find out what you suck at. Right? That'd be the number one thing. Understand your personality. Once you define what you're good at, what you suck at, then find the other people that are gonna develop the rest that you suck at. Right? Find those people, and then go down the journey. That follow the money. Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Follow
what does
the
that
money.
mean?
There's a money trail in everything. If it's a corrupt politician, follow where the money goes. I mean, there's a trail for everything. You know, I always say, find the biggest problem. Okay, if you have a huge problem that you're dealing with and it has a financial backing to it and it's a big one, I want to solve that problem for you, right? I want to solve that, because as soon as I solve that problem, you're like, that's awesome, man. Thank you very much. You know, here's the money, right? And that's all I want to do all the time. So solve people's problems. Be a service. Understand to serve people. You freaking serve people nonstop, they're going to be there at your feet.
Wow.
Right?
That's so amazing. I recall saying that so many times on the radio interview, that be of service, wash
100%.
other people's feet,
100%.
Provide that for them,
100%.
and then they'll be there.
Oh, they won't leave you. Where are they going to go?
And I love seeing you every time, so I can't wait till, I don't know where we're going next.
Yeah.
Let's see, we've been where? Spain, Italy, New York.
Yeah.
So, but we're at another Magnify Your Wealth.
Yeah.
You and I belong to, what is it called? The
Teach me.
Mastermind.
Mastermind, yeah.
So we get together and solve the world's problems and things of that nature. And I've learned so much from you. I mean, my energy is way up now from when you actually met me. And, you know, and one of the things I would say to each and every one of you, be excited about what it is that you do. Enjoy your work. Enjoy the process. And you got to go get it. You got to be hungry. You just got to go get it.
Yeah, I'll add to that a little bit if you don't mind. I just stay in the heart level. You know, a lot of times when I started business at the first, I thought had to be this cold-hearted guy. You know, as I got to the heart level, it's became more successful, more colorful, more everything. You don't have to be this ruthless guy. You don't have to cut everybody out. Yeah, of course you squeeze it hard, but you do it with care and love and passion, right? You don't have to be ruthless, and you do it with heart, you'll enjoy it way more, so.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on Minority Business Access. Thank you.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Minority Business Access Podcast. Connect with us at solomonrcali.info to leave a review and access more resources. We hope you enjoyed this show and found great value. See you at the next episode.